what is our fourth main topic today?
Our fourth main topic is from Eric Thomas. Hey, John and crew. Deadline has revealed which movies they are expecting to get a spot at the Super Bowl. Some of the mentions, like Flash and Fast 10, seem pretty obvious, while others, like Ant-Man, The Marvels, and especially Pixar's Elemental, caught me by surprise. Deadline seems to especially expect Disney to come out in force with up to 6 spots. Do you think this lineup is realistic? Are there some movies missing that you thought would get a spot?
All right, thanks Art for writing that in. By the way, side note, a film I meant to put in the will come close. It was The Flash. I forgot to put The Flash in the will come close. It won't make $1 billion, but I think it'll come close. It might. Okay. Yeah, Deadline put out an article about the upcoming Super Bowl trailers. And again, every year with the Super Bowl, one of the things people get really excited about is the commercials. And it's not as silly as it might sound, because a lot of times, not just the movies, but companies put out commercials in the Super Bowl that are sometimes freaking hilarious and really, really good. And of course, it's a good time to drop a trailer at the Super Bowl. Now, this year, a 30-second spot at the Super Bowl costs $7 million. $7 million for a 30-second spot at the Super Bowl this year. So they're going to be a little bit frugal. But as we mentioned a little bit earlier before, I think this is as much of a sign that the movie industry is now moving past the pandemic era, because we're still living in the effects of it in 2022. And the very fact that I was expecting 3 or 4 trailers. Well, according to Deadline, they think minimum we're going to get is 11. And here's what those Super Bowl trailers are. And we can go over to my screen here for this. So the Super Bowl trailers, now these are the ones that they're saying for sure are happening, okay? So ones that, according to Deadline, we're getting for sure are a trailer for The Flash, a trailer for Transformers Rise of the Beasts, Fast 10, Ant-Man 3, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear.
It's only 15 seconds.
Getting a 15.
That's all you need.
So it's only going to get close to a
15-second
Just a
spot
little key.
Yeah.
that will be right before the game starts. So it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper than half the price because it's a 15-second spot. But still, they're actually showing some belief in this Cocaine Bear movie. And they're giving it a Super Bowl thing. Guardians 3, Little Mermaid, Pixar's Elemental, which I'm very fascinated by, Scream 6, and Dungeons and Dragons. Now, under the maybe list, they've got a number of films that they say these ones could get their trailers put there, but they're not 100% sure. And they're saying the maybe list is The Marvels, Indiana Jones, John Wick, although they're not really confident about the John Wick one, and Creed 3. So those are the maybes. They think at least one of those will be as well, is what they're saying. So we're looking at, if Deadline is to be believed, The Flash, Transformers Rise of the Beast, Fast 10, Ant-Man 3, Cocaine Bear, 15-second spot, Guardians 3, Little Mermaid, Elemental, Scream 6, Dungeons and Dragons, and at least one of The Marvels, Indiana Jones, John Wick, and Creed 3. I don't recall, and I might just not be remembering this right, I don't personally recall ever seeing this many trailers dropping at a Super Bowl. Like, this is huge. This is like the studio saying it's time to get back into business. Warner Brothers usually doesn't drop Super Bowl ads, but they're doing it with The Flash because according to James Gunn, they think The Flash is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. So they're getting behind it, which is why I think it's one of those almost is going to make $1 billion. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Fume. Be smart. Don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, and yet we still continue to have bad habits. Today's sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. You see, Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Because instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. And Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. The device itself is really attractive, and once I popped in the core and took my first inhale of it, it tasted fantastic. Guys, the easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed to perfectly do just that. So head over to tryfume.com SuperBowl.com and use the promo code Campea to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's TryFume, TryFum.com, and use the code Campea to save an additional 10% off your order today. Anyway, Rob, you see this? Any surprises to you on this list that I've got up here? Anything that you think, man, I'm really surprised that this studio isn't pushing this movie at Super Bowl? I don't know. What do you think?
No, because they all seem to be, other than like Cocaine Bear, which I think they must have a really funny, like I could just imagine the bear just taking a big long, like you said, a long pull, long bump on that fatty rail and just be like, you know?
Yes, I love it when early aughts Rob comes to town.
Well, when you just do that, and the eyes on the bear go ding, and it says Cocaine Bear, and you hear the roar. That's the trailer.
Be honest with us, Rob.
No,
you
no,
actually played Cocaine Bear. It's you.
Well,
You are Cocaine Bear.
you know what they paid me in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
did.
very hard to get clean drugs
Yeah.
anymore. It's all fentanyl crap.
Exactly.
No, but I think honestly, I think that like you just pointed out, it's really great that the studios are back. And I think that the fact that they're spending this much money, because this is probably the most money ever spent on movie trailers in history. And if you look at the trajectory of the box office last year, it's on an upward trajectory. You're coming off Top Gun Maverick and you're coming off Avatar 2. And then they have a lot of legacy franchises. The Scream, it doesn't surprise me that Scream 6, they probably spent more money on it. New York, even that's a $7 million spend on a movie like Scream 6. That means they're confident. For one spot. That means they're damn confident in these movies. And if you look at all these films, they've all got a great shot. I mean, they're all, the Marvels coming off $1 billion Captain Marvel. You look at John Wick. John Wick, I mean, has the fan base now that it didn't have. The first John Wick was a sleeper hit. Now the John Wick franchise is entrenched.
Yeah, they've slowly gotten bigger and bigger.
Big, and if you look at all these things, there's not one of these that it seems to be a Hail Mary. These are all pretty sure things that they're just shooting off into the stratosphere,
But so
I think.
when you talk about like a movie like Scream 6 is probably going to end up having like a $25 to $30 million marketing campaign.
Yeah.
To commit like 25% of your entire marketing budget on one 30-second spot, that's ballsy.
I mean, to be fair, too, it's like, look, when they did the AFC Star Trek Picard spot,
Right.
for instance, that was it wasn't the full trailer, but they released the full final trailer on YouTube in tandem with that release.
Yeah, so and all these will be the same thing.
Yes.
Like, just so everybody is clear, none of these are going to play the full 2.5-minute trailer because it's $7 million for 30 seconds. They're going to play a 30-second version of the trailer, and they will all, other than Cocaine Bear, they will all end with full trailer online now.
Yes.
And so that's the way they're going to have to approach it. Aaron, any surprises here for you? Do you think some of the, like, are you shocked? Like, Scream 6 to me is a big surprise. Again, because I think that represents a big chunk of what their overall marketing budget is going to be. But are there anything else that stand out to you here?
Well, the thing that, when we talk about being risky with advertising, my degree is actually in advertising. Go UNT. And so, I just kicked my camera. When we're talking about the, cost per views, the 2022 Super Bowl pulled in almost 100 million viewers. And if you think about where you're going to really put your money, this is so smart on their behalf because they know that not only are they going to get the views, people watch the Super Bowl. There are a lot of people who watch the Super Bowl, not everybody, obviously, so don't jump down my throat when I say this, but there are people who literally just love to watch the Super Bowl for the advertising.
Yeah,
because
there
people
are.
like me who are advertising junkies, we know that we can get a big dopamine hit whenever they break to a commercial. I always love watching the Super Bowl regardless of who's playing in it because I know I'm going to get my Budweiser Clydesdales or my Budweiser Tug at the Heart dog story. Like, I know I'm going to get something from a chip company that's going to make me laugh. I know I'm going to get something really interesting that and so I am a big fan of watching just to see the advertising. The Degnan household absolutely will be watching because my husband is a diehard Philadelphia fan. He cried the last time that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, so there'll be tears either way in our house. But when you're thinking about 100 million sets of eyeballs worldwide. Even though the Super Bowl is obviously not a global event, we understand that it is an American event. There are people in a lot of other countries who do watch the show, who do watch the Super Bowl, whether it's for the advertising or it's for the halftime show, which I think this year it's Rihanna. Yeah, that's going to draw in a lot of people. And then they're going to immediately, like you said, John, divert eyeballs to the full spots. And they've seen what's been happening with the baseball games of planting people in the stands for movies like Smile, and how that kind of crossover audience can really, pull up their numbers. So I actually think that it's a smart investment. It's a lot of money, but when you think about what you're getting and the number of people that are going to be seeing it and the focused attention, I think it's going to be, I think it's smart for anybody that has the budget. And clearly the movie studios are putting their money where their mouth is and putting their best foot forward.
You know what else, John? I don't remember them charging this much for 30-second spots.
No, I think this is a record number.
Yeah, but I think they also know this is a really great matchup. The game, the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This promises to be, not only is it the Super Bowl, but a great football game.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, you also got a lot of other drama connected to a bunch of people won't care about this, but Andy Reid, coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, took the Eagles to the Super Bowl, won a lot of division championships with them. He's the Eagles' old coach for a long time. So it's Andy Reid versus his old team. You got two major stars on each team that are brothers. You got the Kelsey brothers, one on the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think might kind of be the sleeper MVP of the league, to be honest with you. I know he's on a team with Mahomes, but Kelsey, I don't know that the Chiefs are nearly as good as they are without Kelsey. And then meanwhile, you got the man's man of his brother Kelsey, who's on the line over there in Philadelphia. I mean, there's a lot of storylines here.
I have a question.
All right.
Do you think that Tom Brady will make his Fox debut as either a commentator or his on-camera career with Fox Sports begins at this year's Super Bowl?
Yes, because yeah, I think he does, because there was no reason for him to make the announcement of his retirement official until after the Super Bowl, unless he was thinking about doing something like that. Because you know who else is on the Fox commentary team now? Not the commentary team, but on the color comment, Gronk.
Right.
Gronk is there already.
I mean,
so people want to see Gronk and Tom. I think you're going to see them together.
That's what I was asking. I mean, and by the way, I think they're going to announce this probably right before the game, so people tune in. The only reason I ask, because when I was driving this morning, I was listening to commentary on the news about whether or not he was going to show up, because he can. What a better way? Who knows more about the Super Bowl than Tom Brady?
Nobody does. But Tom Brady's been in 1/5 of all the Super Bowls that have ever been played in history. I mean, it's just crazy. He holds a record that nobody will ever win 7 Super Bowls. And it's crazy. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this list? There's going to be a lot of movie trailers dropping at the Super Bowl this year. I cannot wait to watch all these things. Which one are you most excited about? Whichever one it is, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.